Hello, guys, and welcome back. We're here in game number 2 between Hokori and Apu King and Kings. And Apu King and Kings, they really need this win. Yeah, points matter, obviously, but they could still save themselves from relegation, unlike Balrogs, who just look a bit shaky. But they need this win just to stabilize. They changed offlaners twice. Neither of them really worked. They were first off at the regional qualifiers, or regional finals, and they were looking really good the first season. What will happen to them is pretty much determined by if they can at least turn around a decent series. At least I think a 2-1 is what they're looking for against Hokori. I don't think if you asked like Mini their expectations of them in this league, they were probably not thinking that Hokori would be a difficult opponent for them. Guys, what do you do in this situation? It's a bit of a do or die for them. Mr. Duster, you've been in you have a lot of mental coaches. What do you give them? What's the speech? What do you tell your players here?
It's kind of hard. Like, they just need to chill and stick to their plan mostly. Like, go back to more comfort zone. Like the Trend Protector, of course, the comfort zone, but the Nyx Assassin is not really honey best hero or most played by far. Like, maybe just try to stick to your own guns. You're getting close to the point of you have nothing to lose, and this is when you start going back to your roots.
Nice. Do you agree with that? They're going to go full comfort here. Is that what you'd like to see?
Yeah, I mean, at least go out with what you practiced and what you're confident in, just to make sure you did your best. I don't think it's that do or die. There's still a lot more games, but I guess since Hokori is also in a similar position, they kind of have to win, right? Just in a bad situation right now. But yeah, they just have to be confident, not lose confidence. They were doing great last season. Just forget about everything and just play the game and just try to win.
You do bring out something interesting though, which is that with a group stage like this, well, I say group stage with a league like this, it's very difficult to tell which one is the match that really does matter, right? So, when you were in this situation, Alice, does it add stress to every match, or is it difficult to care about every match?
I mean, in my view, I feel like it makes every single match just insanely stressful because you can't really drop any matches. When I was playing the NA DPC. Like we would play against these lower tier teams, but like every single game would count. And let's say you're playing against a top tier of the teams. Like if you lose against one of them, you might just not even make it to the major anymore.
Right.
Or if you're in the bottom of the group, if you lose to a team that's also in the bottom, maybe you're just already out. So it just makes every single match even more stressful.
Do you share that sentiment, Duster?
5 seconds.
It's up sometimes.
We'll see if if Apu King Kings is capable of dealing with this pressure. For now, they start with a very different opening, but a strong one. We've seen a lot in this region. It's a Sand King Marana, and Hokori will answer with the Abaddon. How strong is the Abaddon at dealing with this hunting squad, Lelis?
I mean, I think it's really good against Marana. It can make the hero feel very useless. If he just shields every time the arrow's off. I think also Abaddon's very strong in lane, so it's really good against Sand King early on. They can pressure this guy a lot and make the carry free farm. And later Abaddon just like sit in the lane and get XP. I like it a lot. I think it's a good response from Hokori. I also like the way they just took the Mars, because it's probably doing his best hero, right? So at least now he's playing Sand King, which is not that bad. It's fine. I think it's one of the better heroes for him. I didn't really like the snap, so at least they get to play their own game. The blank initiator stun in the offlane for doing it.
I've also secured his lane a little bit with Sand King Marana. It's an okay-ish lane. Duster, if you were up against a situation where we've already really hyped up that Dunya changed positions, etc., we know this whole storyline. Do you think that Hokori is thinking about pressuring his lane first and foremost?
Maybe not pressuring the lane, but having a hero to counter him and throw him like even more out of the comfort zone, And I think the Abaddon is perfect for it. Like it breaks this reliable blink stun that they have. Even if he impales Abaddon and a hero, you can pop your ultimate as Abaddon and free the other hero. So you need to hit a triple stun pretty much.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure to Apu King Kings. As the bans develop, by the way, it's Hokori Undying Trip Protector, so they're just gonna be banning the strong laning 5s, it seems like.
Yeah, I feel like Serum is a really big melee 5 player.
Yeah.
He plays like these strength heroes that dominate the lane. So the sort of ogre, he was probably gonna play like ogre or something.
Mhm.
But a lot of his comforts are already banned, which I think is good. I think Hokori did a good job in the bans. The last game they let the Monkey King. The Monkey King was a little bit of a problem in the beginning of the game. They probably noticed, oh, this hero is kind of annoying. Let's just ban him. And they banned 2 of Mini's best heroes first phase. I think it's good. I think these bans second phase too are also pretty good.
Okay, Phoenix is the choice for them. That is something they've run up before. Last season, they managed to sneak a game off Thunder Awaken with us by forcing the Tide and then picking a Phoenix against it. Is this too early a Phoenix pick, though, Duster? Can he get... Yeah, well, I mean, I think I answered myself.
Well, that's their first Phoenix this season, though, so it's gonna be interesting to see. And
True.
again, goes back to how creative this thing is. And I love setting hero pool, then dying the Trend Protector, this Phoenix. And well, last time I watched this Phoenix like this, it had huge impact. We're even casting together, so I expect something similar. Although it is countered a bit by Snapfire. This hero deletes egg if it's in a good position.
How important is that when the Phoenix is the 5? Like, does it change? Do you still... Is the hard counter to the egg still a nullification of your team fight, or is it less important when it's a 5?
Less, because you mostly rely on the Sunray.
Okay.
You can heal your Sand King a lot in the Sandstorm, you can do a lot of damage to strange heroes like Mars, even the Snapfire. So you care mostly about the Sunray, and once you get Shard, you can use the Sunray with the egg, and you can position your egg even further, like even behind your cores.
We'll see what Hokori decides to combine with the Snapfire. Lelis, would you... I'm assuming you don't want to see the Snapfire as the 3, right? It's probably a 4 here. Or you'd hope so.
Yeah, please no like support Mars or mid Mars. I feel like just put the Mars with the Snap in the off lane, strong lane. Especially now they showed Phoenix, which is not that strong of a laner. I didn't really like this Phoenix pick. I don't see a reason to pick this hero here, especially against a Batten, which just cleanses the W, right? And Snap, which also Snap was a counter pick, right? But I just don't see the reason to pick this hero. I feel like it makes their laning really weak. Because they already see that there's an Abaddon, right? So their lane's not going to be that strong in the off lane. And then they pick Phoenix, which is just not a strong hero. It makes up for the team fight, but then the team fight's kind of countered already.
Yep.
Maybe they have a plan, or they practice this hero and they're just confident with it. I don't have a problem with that. But just looking at the heroes face to face, I don't think it was a very good pick. I like the Hokori Luna pick though. Like they just have a tri-lane hero. If they even want the tri-lane, it's a possibility. And there's a strong laner with the Batten just to punish the Sand King lane.
When we were in regional finals, we told me that when a team is like back against the wall, or when they feel like they want to win the best of 3, the best thing is to secure lanes first. Do you feel like Apokia Kings is deviating away from that? It's worrisome in that sense, coming from a loss.
I mean, they're not thinking about lanes at all, I feel like.
Yeah.
Sure, the Sand King Mirana can be good against some lanes, but if it gets countered, I think Mirana can be pretty exposed, especially like level 1. The hero doesn't really do anything. She has an arrow, but if this arrow doesn't like hit the range creep, where she gets zoned out of the wave, she's pretty sad. And the same thing for Sand King, right? This lane can go really badly. Well, at least a Wraith King kind of makes up for it a little bit. The hero just has a stun, is a little bit stronger in lane. He's not like, I don't know, an anti-mage or something. That doesn't really help that much. At least he has spells to play lane.
What are your thoughts on the Benny Wraith King? One of his staples as well, Duster.
I love it. I love this hero right now. I think it's really powerful to play fast with it, and it combos decent with Phoenix. Like it's a strange hero, so your Sunray is gonna heal him a lot, and it just makes such a chaotic team fight. Like you gotta deal with 2 lives on him, you gotta deal with the egg. It's definitely a decent pick. I'm just not sure about the carry matchup. If he's any good against Luna, I feel like Luna can easily outfarm him.
Yeah, what's the timing usually where Luna starts to overpower Wraith King? Or is there a timing? Like, once she gets Scotty, does it become difficult for Wraith King to fight?
Yeah, for sure. This Scotty's timing is probably the biggest one. Just the slow is just gonna make easy to kite this Wraith King. But it's a hero that also builds mobility. The Strength Blink Dagger, maybe even a Silver Edge.
10 seconds remaining.
Okay, we'll see how that works out for them. Hokori is gonna be the first to pick right now. They need a mid laner, most likely, unless we see a weird flex for the Snapfire. What do you think they're missing in this draft, Wallace? What would you need to draft for them?
They're probably missing a mini here. I mean, the mini is just so unpredictable. They might just pick SF or something.
I mean for Hokori, sorry. We can talk about Kings after they see the pick, probably.
They probably want something that can follow up with the Mars Arena.
Mm.
So probably just something that has like some sort of pick off that can go in, so batting this shield. I would think Spirit Heroes are really
10
good.
seconds remaining.
Apu, like they have these stuns, but they have a batting cleanse, so the Spirit Heroes can work really well. They already banned a lot of the mobility heroes, Puck, Ember. There's like Void Spirit. I know the Analog plays. Analog just plays way too many heroes. It's really hard to predict what he's gonna pick. He's just gonna play like Zeus again or something.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me.
It is wild, the hero pool of some of the cores in Hokori, actually. All 3 cores have pretty
10
wild hero
seconds
pools.
remaining.
Gareth really likes drafting for this team. He said it a couple of times, but he's just happy that he can pick whatever, and his team will be happy to play it.
Yeah, it's always good. Like, it makes the drafting just easier. A lot of times, you pick these hero, you want to pick a meta hero, then someone says, "Oh, I don't play this hero," and then it just starts getting way too hard to draft because people don't play specific heroes, and then it keeps on piling up. Then somebody else doesn't play a hero, and it just becomes impossible. So if your cores just play every hero, it's so easy. There's the Spirit hero, the high mobility hero that can just punish this Phoenix or Mirana, and he doesn't have to be that scared of these stuns because he has a
10
batting
seconds
cleanse.
remaining.
So he can go crazy.
For Apoking Kings, Duster, what do they need to do against Void Spirit? They need a good matchup in this lane, at least. What could they run?
Yeah, a matchup pick, mini Shadow Fiend, I guess. He will definitely beat this Void Spirit, but it doesn't look good in the game for sure. It's gonna be interesting to see what's gonna go for it, because a lot of mid heroes are banned this game. There's not many options left.
Yeah, especially
I
for
can
mini.
see something like a Kunkka available, but you don't really want to pick Kunkka against Abaddon. Any mid hero here feels bad.
What is their draft missing though? If you're concentrating just on the bottom part, what do they need to draft here?
Some follow up to the Sand King Mirana. Like they do a lot of disable, but you need some damage.
That's where the Shadow Fiend could work, right? If there wasn't some counter.
He would have a decent lane, maybe snowballing lane.
Now
Oh,
select
okay,
your
Kunkka.
heroes.
Yeah, you did call it the Kunkka. But you sold on this last pick, Lelis? Do you like it? Do you think the draft for Apoking Kings is okay?
It's okay. I don't think it's anything impossible to play. I think they have like stuns, they have team fight, they have at least a good matchup. They're not gonna pick Kunkka into Void Spirit thinking like it's a bad matchup, right? So I think they have what it takes to win the game. They're just gonna have to play well. Like I think Hokori's just playing better than them right now. They're just a better team, so they're just gonna have to juice it up, just play better.
Okay, Duster, what is your opinion? Do you think that Apoking Kings needs to play better, or can they take it with this draft?
They need to survive the lanes, I think. If they can have decent lanes, I really love their team fight. Like Egg, Bolt, 2 lives on Wraith King. They're tanky, they have sustain, a lot of AoE. I love their team fight, but I'm afraid for their laning phase. I'm gonna go and vote for them, because I think they have enough to survive and win these fights.
There we go, Duster. A divided panel is an always right panel, as we like to say. As we're going to move to the casters, and I'm contractually obligated to call him this at least once per cast. So we're going to go over to Gareth and Lacoste.
Oh, that's fine. I thought you were going to go for the Lacoste again, and I was I was very worried. Here we are, Lacoste. Tons of
this
stuns
is
on the
better.
panel. This is definitely better.
Got it. This is better.
Gareth and Lacoste, hello. Here we are, as we get ourselves into game 2. Hokori 1 game to the good. Upper Kings, like the panel said, lots of stuns, very good team fight. Lanes they were kind of not focusing on in this draft, as Hokori come out with some incredible picks. Void Spirit for Analog is going to be great.
Yeah, there is like some lockdown for it. If he gets caught by X marked into arrow or stun into arrow, he's gonna die. But I feel like he can play around it. They do also have a Baton that can solve a lot of these early problems. And look at the build on Abba. Like you see this, you're like, I don't want to play against this guy. It's doing a lot of mental damage when you see position 5 with these items. 6 tangos, healing salve, fire, and 2 mangoes.
And 2 sentries? That's illegal. Does he use one for small camp here, or what's the... Yeah, that's what he's doing, isn't it?
One for the small and one to... Yeah, I mean, he's gonna probably need to bring another one because he's playing into Sanking.
Yeah, in case he needs to deblock his own camp, then one for the Sandstorm. Doesn't really worry too much about blocking large camp. But in the meantime, while that's all happening, Dire do get themselves a couple of good observer wards out and their own sentry in the Radiant small camp mid. We will have that reduction in farm for both of the mid laners until those sentries are removed. Interesting Dire Obs ward as well. We're seeing a lot more of this over the past 6 months or so, where it felt like the mid lane ward meta had been solved and very easily countered. Now we're finding all these little spots to place them in, smokes and illusory old putts.
Yeah,
daunting
it gets
across the map.
rewarded a lot of the time. So just free gold for the mid laner, and it could affect potentially a matchup. He gets a bit earlier. You know, bottle doesn't mean it's gonna get killed. Teolicor, he plans down another sentry ward, which is, I mean, he just dewarded, so I don't know what the plan was.
I don't think he realized that the D-ward was on top of the high ground, so he was like, I'll come here, D-ward his sentry, and keep mine placed.
Yeah, no, sorry with the face palm. Understands what he did. So yeah, bottom lane, this is the lane I want to focus on. Mirana, not very strong, level 1. Abaddon, very powerful hero, level 1. Goes inside the creep wave and gets the aphotic shield. And then like tries to trade with these heroes, and they don't want to attack him. So the first couple of waves, I'd say the first couple, I mean first like one, maybe even the second one belongs to Luna. She didn't bring any region at the start, brought some tangos because Abba brought a lot. Abba needs to be careful, he might be dead here.
Yeah, it's that burrow into arrow combo. Good loosened beam though, Yuma keeping Garlic alive and allows the shield to come back up. Very close, but yeah, great from the Abaddon, right? He tanks a bunch of spells. Two salvos of burrow arrows, blocks the large camp, and keeps that Luna farming. We're going to be very happy with that. Forcing Apu Kings to regen back up so they can still play that lane aggressively like they want to with their stuns. Void Spirit against Kunkka in that mid lane. Currently Analog getting the better of Mini. Has his bottle delivered now as well. Just before that 2-minute mark, so should be looking for the water runes in a sec. Melee versus melee, probably just a farm trade, right?
As levels go by, Kunkka gets it a bit easier once he gets level 3, level 5. I think there's a bit more harassment coming out from him, but with the water runes, with the runes in the jungle, like Void Spirit can't sustain, he does have Resonant Pulse, which means reducing some of that physical damage. And first blood on the top lane. Who got the last hit?
Vitaly's Mars.
Vitaly did.
They got the courier as well. Theo kills Ceram's courier. Phoenix and Wraith King against this Mars Snapfire lane. Now, we've come to know and love this, right? Mars Snap, loads of stuns. The pressure they put on is massive.
It's nerfed. Snapfire, Little Shredder is nerfed. Before it was -1 armor. We brought it down to 0.75 and now it's down to 0.5. So in terms of the minus armor and the damage that she does in the laning stage, it's very significantly nerfed, but it still synergizes well with God's Rebuke, and it's also like you want to have that for later stages against the egg, of course. So I don't mind seeing it here.
Yeah. Also really nice to have that cookie into spear. If someone's out of position, you can isolate them very quickly. Theo trying to pull, but there's a dire creep wave there. Maybe he was scared of Ceram pulling, but Phoenix was back on his small camp.
Looking at the top wave, this small camp, it needs to be buffed. Like even if you get the pull off, these creeps barely.
The kobolds?
Like they can't even kill one creep with three creeps pulled. That's just insane.
Just praying for Harpy camp, basically. If you're in position 5, you're like, please, Vul assassins or Harpies.
Vul assassin, yeah.
Yeah. It's not the bloody kobolds. You basically just need to stack that camp if you have any thought of stacking and pulling. Theo denies the water rune. Could have actually maybe gone for that courier kill, but instead faces off against Ceram's Phoenix. Gonna force a dive, but no reaction. Holds his own. Peek into mid lane, dead even. It's melee versus melee. Nothing really too interesting is going to happen there. Maybe when they get 6, they'll rotate out into these side lanes. But for now, it is the side lanes on their own.
We can see Analog saving 2 points on Void Spirit, just in case he needs like Dissimulate, whether he needs extra bit of damage coming out, or more like damage block coming out from Resonant Pulse. Looking at the top lane, Raid King 20 CS, Mars 20 as well. So off lane doing really good. Same goes for Sanking, but Luna is on top. Gardeck dropping a bit low. He's bringing in some extra stuff. It's a healing salve. Oh man, he has no net worth. Let me just swap real quick.
It's going to be pretty low.
Yeah, 400.
Just below 500, yeah. I mean, does that salve go on the Abaddon? Okay, he's going to miscoil the Luna, so that's how he keeps the Luna in lane. But the Burrow Strike Arrow is a good one. Immediate shield.
It goes on Luna.
So thankful.
This
now the
your
salve.
question.
Yep. Now the salve goes on Luna. So maybe they can actually get on top of Gardeck here. They spot him, but Burrow was still on cooldown for a second or two. Unfortunate for the Apu Kings. Raindrop getting popped out by the caustic. But now Radiant under their tower, safe and sound. And mid laners have hit level 6. This is where the fun really does start.
Whoever gets the rune, especially if it's Void Spirit, like he can easily rotate to the bottom lane. Sanking naturally pushes the lane, and then they can try to grab a kill. They do have not just one, but 2 sentry wards, so vision is not going to be the problem, unfortunately. For them, Mini picks up double damage on bottom, so this is going to increase his farming in the jungle. They have no stacks on Ancients nor the big camp, so he's just going to farm the small stack. Stack/camp.
Yeah, just chill for now. Kind of an interesting situation up top. With all those sentries and observers around. Radiant have double sentried, found nothing. There's a Dire Observer ward in the Dire jungle. And then a Radiant Observer ward a little bit deeper. Oh, here it comes. They're spam pinging top. Void Spirit is on the move. TP's up. Cookie to start. Vitaly's there with a spear to the trees. And Analog should secure this kill on the Wraith King with ease. Sarem tried to dive across and help, but nothing could be gained. While down at bottom, the Burrow Arrow again. Gardeck caught up. No time. This time around to shield himself.
Bit of a different build on Sanking this time around, going for Tranquil Boots, investing in small items, Raindrop, going for the Soul Ring. This is the sustain build, which I'm also fine with. You can easily catch up if Mirana is making some kind of stacks. Courier died, Morbid Mask was on it, so there's not going to be any lifesteal. You want to, when something like this happens, Gaben sometimes says, I'll bless you, I'll give you the mask from the neutral creeps. I think it's gonna drop for Luna if she's the one hitting it.
Go on, go hit the small camp. You pulled it yourself, go farm it yourself. Oh, deny on the sentry, and Jupiter picks up the observer ward while top. They do catch the Mars. Cookie to give him a bit of a gap. The God's Rebuke is good. Vitaly also has this Arena of Blood. Doesn't want to use it defensively, though. He's trying to cut through the trees and make an escape swiftly to the right-hand side. And now he's going to TP. He's just going to keep on running. Kill a courier on his way out. Nah. Takes a tower hit, but he's dragged the attention of Apu King of Kings top. And he will escape.
Kunkka on top of the net worth. He has 700. More than Void Spirit. I mean, he farms faster. He can clear the small camp. He can clear the lane a bit faster than Void Spirit. And that's where it comes from. Also farming the stack. Helping, quote.
Yes.
Raid King here. Stealing
had that
his
DD
CS.
as well.
Oh,
DD would have helped out.
There's the big stack that he's going to farm.
There we go. Yeah, phase boots, double bracer. What do you expect from this Kunkka coming out next? Is this kind of a halberd game against the Luna? Do you want to try and buy that early BKB? What's up with Mini's Kunkka?
I'd say Orchid BKB. Both of them, whatever he feels it's more needed as a first item. I'd say BKB, a safer choice. You're playing into Snapfire, Mars, Void Spirit. We'll see. I'm a big fan of this silence. You can play around Abba, you can silence him, because your other heroes don't provide any kind of silence, and then you can go for the target, lock onto it. You do have enough stuns to just go and kill it.
Oh, they had a crack at Benny. He's got his armlet and his reincarnation, though, and with his X-boat, Mini forces to assimilate out of the Void Spirit. Aiming towards Vitaly's Mars now, but the Cookie, not getting him across that waterfall. Still stuck, but he's got the Arena on 3. Also, Rem blown up. They've taken the reincarnation out as well, and that Void Spirit dragging the Kunkka into a spear that sends him away.
That was very ambitious from Kunkka to be able to X both Void Spirit, who does have a Dissimulate. It's I don't know if he was relying on Great King to land another stun or what, but you just can't go for that type of a kill unless you have some other instant stun.
That's not happening. So with that bit of action top, Sand King has actually got himself a ton of farm. Blink Dagger's now 600 gold away. Luna has ditched the bottom lane, not wanting to face off against that Sand King for now, so she's dealing with the triangle, which has been really nicely stacked up for her. Mask of Madness going. She'll hit the top of the net worth, but leaves the triangle.
Wants to be able to kill the
join up.
tower. There is Catapult Wave. Damage from Lunar Blessing is definitely needed. I don't know if they can play around Sand King. He's very elusive. Right now they have limited amount of stuns. No Blink Dagger on Mars yet. No Arena, so it's pretty hard to lock down.
Oh, big item, Lacoste. Abaddon has brown boots.
Oh. Still level 5. He needs to go in, die, collect some experience. This is his job.
Get level 6 as quick as he can. Oh, bottom lane, firmly in the grasp of Apu King of Kings. Trying to shift in towards mid. Moonlight Shadow comes. That cookie creep actually lands. And the Arena Spear is a good one. Kisses onto Mini's Kunkka. Well done by this Snapfire Mars, comboing up. Saving out that Void Spirit and defending that mid lane with all they've got. They shift from top tier 1 into mid tier 1 very quickly.
Good rotation. They don't defend the bottom tower, so it's going to be a trade, but a lot of value from that Arena. Abaddon needs to find somewhere to farm his level 6. Either be in a triangle, steal some XP, pretending you're doing something using Healing Salve on Luna. Yeah, I think that's the play.
Place the sentry. D-ward the high ground. The sentry.
He's leeching. He's pretending to be doing something, buying items in the base. It's
Guarding
needed.
the staircase.
It's needed. You know, he's about to break the smoke. Not really. But yeah, steals XP from Luna. Gets that level 6. Sometimes it's all you have to do.
Well, here comes that blink reveal. Sand King is smoked up with a level 6 Phoenix. Mirana doesn't have Moonlight Shadow, so they are all relying on the smoke. Looking for any vision they can get across the river. But Analog is incredibly positioned here, defensive near his own small camp. Not showing on the mid wave, not showing anywhere. Oh, they might see him in a second here. Analog biding his time. Tali is nearby, but half HP. This Mars could get into the fight. The Dissimulate, though, sending Analog back out again.
Gets into fog. Those trees not giving you vision.
And Hokori not entertaining a fight there, just placing themselves in front of this triangle so Yuma can gather up the remainder of that ancient stack. 6.3k. Mask of Manus, Dragonlance, now BKB on the horizon.
She wants to be able to join early fights. Needs to have Eclipse. And she will disassemble Dragonlance. So the BKB timing on Luna gets there pretty early. Still haven't seen anything from Apu King of Kings in terms of like big team fight. We haven't seen them utilize this Blink Dagger on Sand King. Moonlight Shadow also was popped. Nothing happened. Seems like Hokori, they understand we need to dodge these fights until we have Blink Dagger on Mars and until our Luna has a BKB. Potentially we can go for a smoke, get a pick off, but we don't want to commit with all of our heroes. We just want to take some pressure off Luna. Look what they're doing. 3 heroes smoked. They want to find something, and Abba playing with Luna.
Yeah, they don't want to 5v5.
He's a bit too far away from Luna right now.
If he dies and Luna's fine, then everything's good. But Mini, oh, he doesn't see, he doesn't get. Luna TP's home, got it. And his ulti's popped, and he will drop in that jungle, but all is good in the world. That's Moonlight Shadow and a 4-hero rotation just for the position 5 Abaddon.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Analog needs to get the farm somewhere. He's very underfarmed at the moment. Like, he was involved in 3 kills, but not the big ones. He only got 1 last hit on top of it. They didn't kill the mid tower compared to the enemies. Bottom lane.
Yeah, the bottom out with the Arena. They've got the kisses. That TP's not going to last too long.
He had 0.2 seconds to be able to blink out decided to go for the TP.
Risky move, not paying off for him. Mini trying again with the X-Mark Torrent on the Void Spirit. And yet again, Analog showing him he can press buttons. We also haven't seen too much from Benny, have we? Phase Boots Armlet. Mithril Hammer in his inventory. So I guess he's heading BKB, or is this a Desolator?
It's Deso. You just want damage from Raid King at this point. Like, ideally, you would want to have Deso plus level 12 on Raid King to be able to join the fights. Big difference between 200 seconds and 130 on your reincarnation. He has BKB queued up, okay. Switches to Deso.
Now Deso.
Which is not, I think Deso is just better. Like, it increases your farm, unlocks the Roche, and yeah, you deal well with the supports as well. You might crit through Abba, and he doesn't get the borrowed time as well.
Especially if you buy a Blink Dagger, right? Just jump on someone, massive crit. Destroy one of these support heroes very quickly.
Kunkka does have a BKB. So they might take one fight before Raid King. Like, he doesn't join, he continues to farm up his Deso, or they might wait, because this is their big timing. He just hit level 12, and there's 600 gold off Deso. And they want to use the BKB on Kunkka.
Yeah, they want to use a lot of these things. Blink Sand King, Kunkka BKB. Tons of stuns and ultis that they want to play around with, but they haven't found a good position to go and do it, because bottom tier 1 and mid tier 1 have already dropped, so they don't have a key objective they want to really focus on and move towards. That would be Roshan maybe in the next 5 minutes or so, but not right now anyway.
Luna also has a BKB, so she will gladly join these fights. Abba, once again, trying to devord and also protecting Luna. Scouting the stairs in case there is a smoke.
Seeing the Phoenix on his way over here as well. 2 sentries atop the cliff. Both identical cosmetics staring each other. Nobody cares for them. Moonlight Shadow into smoke though. Hokori maybe slightly disadvantaged here, but they do get the jump on the Phoenix. Quick supernova. All the damage comes too fast for them. And the arena trapping that poor Dunya Sankey against the side of the Colosseum, and now onto the Mirana. Jupiter forced to use 1 leap. 2 more remain. While Mini really doesn't want to press BKB, but he might just have to. Needs to get away from that spear play. The X-Mark boat coming towards Vitali. Mini gotta be wary though, because they've got a baton behind the Mars. The damage you're pushing is all mitigated by Gardic.
Raid King TP. He didn't have the TP ready, so a bit surprised Apple King of Kings decided to take that fight. Because they need Raid King. They definitely need his damage, and if they get the good initiation, it's just straight up better for them. You know that someone is gonna die. There is no real save. There is tankiness, so they should probably smoke and try to get something done. They know there's no BKB on Luna and try to take a fight. Maybe even force a Roche fight.
That'll be great for them. Smoke again. Benny still farming away. Got his Deso right. Blink Dagger queued up. That's what we like to see. And they are positioned next to the pit, scanning the Radiant Triangle. Make their move up there. Yuma is guarded by the Sabaton as always, and they realize, Apu Kings, that this is all being cleared out, so it has to be a Roshan move from us. Secure the mid lane with Mini. Get into the pit with Benny. And if Hokori don't realize what's up, this is Aegis Apu Kings.
They should take the fight. Arena is up, BKB on Luna is up. They don't need the clips, like the damage is not that great at the moment, but yeah, I feel like they should go in. Void Spirit should jump.
They're making the move. Burst Strike onto the Void Spirit. Arrow there as well, but it's taken off by the shield. Now Benny, low HP, the spear. Oh, that Arena catches out Dunya. Sand King in so much trouble. Roshan falls. The Aegis grabbed by Mini, sure, but Yuma's in the middle. Dealing so much damage with these glaives. Gets cookied across to the left-hand side. Into the pit, a little bit deeper. Dissimulate out as well, while Benny's trying to armor toggle himself through this fight. Stuns the Void Spirit, but down he goes. Benny's gone, and Mini in a lot of trouble. Vitali and Yuma are chasing him down, hounding the Kunkka. Aegis is gone. That's Phoenix. No way he can stick around. And Many will die twice in a row. Quick succession of kills there for Analog, who grabs a double kill.
Oh, what a great targeting by Hokori in this fight. They go for the supports immediately. They like split up the fight for a second. They take down Sank. We haven't seen... I don't think we've seen Epicenter at all in this game.
It's been rough, yeah.
and they go for the supports first. Then they kill Kanka because he picked up the Aegis. They kill Raid King once, and yeah, Phoenix, like, he gets the egg off, but they also disengage a little bit to the east of the pit, and yeah, no casualties whatsoever.
Whoa, you've learned what east and west are?
I
You're
know,
growing.
I know my east. I know where east is. East is right. That's where I live in Croatia. So
Very good. Down goes Jupiter. Ooh. I mean,
I
Theo,
don't mind
do you-
east-west. You know, when we're talking about
north-south?
about the map. But if I'm outside and someone tells
Okay.
me go southwest, I'm like, bro, come
Where the
on.
hell is that?
I could
Open
go
Google
anywhere.
Maps, press the
There's-
compass button.
Yeah, I don't have a compass.
Me if given half a chance.
Do you have a... I mean, have you heard never eat shredded wheat before?
Have I what?
Have you heard of never eat shredded wheat?
No, but I also haven't done it, so maybe I heard
Okay.
about it.
Oh, it's I mean, there's a lot of people who struggle with left and right and struggling with
I know
learning
that.
north, south, east, and west. So in England, anyway, we have a short little, I don't know what you call it, short little phrase: never north, eat east, shredded south, wheat west. Shredded wheat is an awful cereal which no one should ever eat, so it all fits. It's good for children and man-children like myself.
Good for man children. Okay. Yeah. Back to the game. Luna does have Dragonlance again. Does have Crystallis. Doesn't have Shard at the moment. She has Satanic queued up. A bit more survivability. They're trying to set things up on the top lane. Sanking. Where is it? Like, he needs
Here we go.
two-man burrow.
Epi Burrow. Yeah, Luna. BKB, is it coming? Just in time. The arena's saving as well. Yules does very little. Dunya's down. Yuma saved up, and Gardex here to keep the heals coming as well.
That's why I wanted to see, like, some kind of silence. Because if they initiate like that, Abba can't pop his ulti and get a shield on Luna. Kunkka is going for AC. Strong item, great against Luna, great against Mars. They do have, like, decent amount of physical damage at the moment. I just feel... Also, he's not snowballing in the game. Maybe that's why. But I put a lot of value in Orchid Kunkka. Because it's not just the old... It gives more damage. It's not just your intelligence item anymore.
Yeah, true. I do get a pick here onto Theo, it looks like. Oh, maybe not. And he's shown off his Blink Dagger and tried to jump the snap, but Analog dishing out as much damage as they're giving. No more backup coming, though, for Hokori. So they can't make a trade out of it, and Moonlight Shadow will actually allow Apu King of Kings to keep pressing forward. A spot Analog, but that's a Phoenix who's your first point of contact. Not the ideal initiation hero.
It gets
Give a bit
into
of
your
vision.
head. I think as a Sanking, whenever you play it and you're not having a good game, you kind of struggle a little bit if you don't get something done, like 2 times in a row. We've seen one Epicenter so far, and then he was also playing into Abba. We've seen what happened in the previous fight, and then you just, like, kind of lose confidence a little bit in terms of what you need to do.
Yeah. I think it's felt like that often with Blink heroes. We've seen that with, you know, Tidehunter historically. Mars has had that issue as well. You're investing in that team fight victory item, basically. And if you don't get those pickoffs or team fight wins, so much gold down the drain.
Big timing for Hokori is going to be BKB on Mars and Luna with Satanic. So with Satanic, she does have more sustain. She isn't as easily burstable.
Look at Gardic. They just walked up high ground. That's an Epicenter jump in. They do find Analog. That's a huge arrow and a clear up on that Void Spirit. Vitali's also taking a lot of damage, but he's got the arena through the Supernova Egg. Nearly clipped the Phoenix, but Serum's there. Trouble is, Theolacourt has the little shredder. Benny with his Blink Dagger jumping over and over again towards any hero he can find. Lots of damage onto Theo, and that'll clear him up. Well, he Yules the Abaddon, Yuma BKB TPing home, and a huge crit from Benny.
Yeah, Void Spirit getting caught. He also decided to go for Yule Scepter, which is a bit of a strange item, I would say, in situations they are in. Because if you get initiated on, you need Abba to save you. This Yule Scepter is not going to do anything. So I think it's much better if he gets something like Ags and tanks up a little bit, or if he feels like, okay, I need to defend myself against the Burrow Strike stun, so I get something like a Lincoln Sphere, which is very expensive, very rare. But in a situation like this, I think it's much better. I don't think this dual scepter gives him anything at this point. It's a defends himself against Kanka's combo, but you also do have the simulate. Once again, they don't have a single silence, so no weight, nothing to really dispel.
Yeah, and it's like you look at the Sanking with his Yule Scepter and you think, at least he can use the Abaddon when he's ulted. He can catch, he can kill, stop TPs. Void Spirits is almost entirely defensive. They are moving out as one unit, though, Hokori. Again, trying to get Vitali up. The Shard and Refresher Orb. And a bit more farm priority to your Mars. While Yuma finishes off that Satanic now. Incredibly tanky Luna. They're picking out that top tier 2, so they will swarm as 5 up there. Try and prep themselves for that upcoming Roshan. Benny has a BKB coming on that courier.
Benny's massive. He's huge. Not as
Come a long way.
big as Luna, but he does deal well with the supports. Like, he can 2-shot Abba pretty much at this point. Maybe 3-shot. His ulti might not go off in the fights considering how big his crits are. And he just is a monster right now. Reincarnation maxed out. They do have AC on Kunkka. Some extra damage coming out from the Deso. Not too much. 6 at the moment. But they're going for the high ground. They need to address this. And look at the aggressiveness from Benny. Jumps to high ground. Applies that Deso.
Skeletons, Catapult Wave. Approaching that tier 3.
Beam.
They're also going mid-tier 2. Roshan, 20 seconds away from his fastest spawn. Radiant were poking their heads in, so maybe a bit of indecisiveness or not realizing what's going on, but they start on Benny. First life is about to go down. The Burrow Strike in forces the BKB from Vitali. The boat is good onto Yuma's Luna. Mini looking for a way to tie-bring a cleave onto someone, but they've got to get this egg dealt with now. Mars Arena's good as well, while Mini BKBs to run outside of it. Losing Phoenix early, not a good sign here for Alpha King of Kings, and just ignoring the Wraith King, but the Burrow Epi. 2 heroes straight in. The Torrent clips onto Yuma's Luna as well, and they've taken her down. Benny can still keep going with these massive crits, and Mars shredded by the Wraith King. Benny blinks forward. He wants analog. They've killed 4. Why not 5? Oh, that Ether Remnant to simulate should get him the distance, but Dunya closes it just like that. Arrow chain stun on that Wraith Fire Blast, and Benny is so powerful.
That's what they needed. They needed a good opening in terms of like Wraith King going in. Didn't look too good. He dropped down immediately, but they managed to fall back a little bit more further away from the tower, and then Sanking. Like he gets a good jump in the backlines. He knows that the BKBs are down, and this is his time to shine. So he was really like steady with the epicenter, which I really like. Also, Kunkka, he got the boat off on Luna. She didn't get the Satanic off. That's the big problem. There was no Abba to try to save her this time around. And what is Kunkka building? He's going for the Halberd, great item against Luna. If he gets that pre-BKB, it's also one way to defend the Egg. Egg is now level 2, a bit under-leveled for this point of the game, but he's playing into Snapfire, so can't really blame him. And Luna with Mask of Madness BKB, they have no abilities that go through magic immunity, so it's a bit rough for Phoenix. Kind of a tough game.
Where's Nahaz? Where's Nahaz? DD Rune spawns like 10 seconds before Roshan respawns. Benny takes it and they're in the pit. Hokori have to snap into action right now. Roshan's half HP. Hokori they're approaching, but it looks like it might be too late. The damage Benny and Mini are outputting now. Ooh, Yuma in with the shard, but the burst strike from Dunya. Now Benny has to focus the Luna. Where's the BKB? Where's the Satanic? She's not getting anything off. Yuma shredded by Apu King of Kings. Now Vitali's on the run, trying to spear back his BKB. Has no blink. It's on cooldown for 3 more seconds. The amount of disables that Apu King of Kings have at their disposal is insurmountable. Theo Lacoste is going to get burst strike in a sec as well. Dunya just keeps on chasing. Mini will line out that torrent and find Theo Lacoste. Another Roshan, another 3 kills. Analog's also being hunted in the mid lane. Benny wants it, but he's not going to be able to get back up on the high ground. But with Jupiter and Serem dishing out magic damage, Analog's actually very nearly dead. Needs that astral step to get to the right-hand side. Assimilate ready again as well. It looks like he should be able to slip away, or maybe not with his TP from Dunya. Oh, no way. He can't find a hidey hole. A Burrow Strike and Arrow are there again, and it looked like another massive team wipe.
Kunkka beating on the tier 3 tower with his AC. I think Luna got a little bit surprised by that cookie, pushed her out of the position that she wanted to be in, kind of griefed her, I'd say, and she doesn't even get the BKB off. And look at the damage amplification from Wraith King. He's not the one going for AC, so he gets like the AC buffs for free. Not as much, but still very good, and also has the Solar Crest. Ooh, spear misses.
Yeah, Vitali tried, but now he's the one taking the stuns to the back of the head. Mini does have his BKB end, and Yuma just walks in. BKB'd up Luna inside the arena, dishing out some big DPS. The Supernova is going to come crashing down, though they can't focus the egg. Benny has cleared up Luna, dead for 70, and this looks like it's going to be game.
Yeah, I think they could go for tier 4 towers and close out the game. Surprise, they're trying to beat up the tier 3 towers. There's more than enough damage. AC plus Deso. Wraith King holding on to Aegis. He picked up the shard from Roshan as well. I think it's time to go. I think it's time to force them to drop the double Gs.
What have they got? 50 on Luna, 40 on Mars. No, they're going to go for the mega creeps. Kunkka is dead for 45 seconds, so that's something they're probably taking into account. We don't have that AC. We don't have a large part of our team fight available to us. But goodness gracious me, the last 3 team fights, Luna just hasn't been able to do anything, hasn't been able to BKB or Satanic off. Chain stunned into oblivion.
That's mega
creeps now here.
They had enough time to close out the game, so they will give Hokori one more fight, which is going to be against the Megas. Mega creeps did not yet spawn. They're spawning soon. Stuff like this, doesn't strike me as, good team communication and understanding, like, how much damage they can do while the heroes are dead. Because they had to close it out. I'm not saying that Hokori is going to make miraculous comeback into the game, but in a game where it matters, you want to get those chances down to 0.
Height and Sliver now for the Dire as well. Wraith King or Kunkka? Who does it belong to? Looks like Dunya trying to give it to Benny. Come here. Benny's actually sprinting away from him full speed.
Running away.
Spider legs running away. Sand King screaming at him, just bloody come here. He's put Titan Sliver back in the stash, it looks like.
He's giving back. Yeah, that's what you do. I don't think he would even take it. I think he prioritizes spider legs over this anyway.
Yeah, with Aegis in hand, he wants that maneuverability. Well, one last chance, one last hurrah for Hokori here in game 2. One of the big points, the panel was talking about, and what we've seen from Luna's, especially against melee carries, is that Skadi timing, right? Luna here going for this Dragonlance, BKB, Crystallis, Satanic. Do you think she's missed a step, not going for Skadi earlier?
It would give her more armor. Like her armor right now with Solar Crest is 30, 22 without it. So I don't know. Like AC plus Deso, it's a lot of minus armor. You don't feel as tanky. It's not. You don't feel as real.
Oh, the 2-man.
Agility hero jump.
Perfect initiation. Oh, down goes Analog. He has buyback, though. And inside this arena, maybe Yuma can continue fighting. The 4-staff away from the boat. Supernova with a Sunray comes and burns down Vitali to half HP. Apu, King of Kings, lose very little. They force the buyback from Analog. And under Moonlight Shadow, Epicenter, Burrow Strike, Dunya's in with another 2-man. Abaddon force to get the Burrow time out, and they've got that second Supernova, but the little Shredder makes short work of it. Yuma down and has to buy back herself. Luna looking to go frontline now. They need to fight. Defend these tier 4s with all they've got.
Panic, panic, panic. This is the panic mode. Defending against the mega creeps, using your buybacks. Set up from
Analog. The jump heals catch. Aether Remnant into Kisses. Spear back as well. They kill Marana. Benny's also jumped in. He's focusing onto Luna. But Yuma's going to turn back and dish out as good as he got. First life is out. Mini and Dunya are in on Vitali. Mars slapped by that Epicenter shard. Benny. Oh, careful. Spider legs to run away. The Torrent holds them back as well, but it's scrambling and panicky from Apu, King of Kings. They've lost their Kunkka now. Another spear back from Vitali secures that. It's a lot of buybacks from the Radiant, but they hold.
They have no buybacks. No one on their team has buyback. They used everything. So right now, when they respawn, go for the one final push. Seems like they're bringing out Roshan. At least that's what Abaddon is drawing on a minimap, which is not gonna spawn for a minute and a half.
Are they gonna last that long? I guess they're not too bad against mega creeps with this Luna able to clear out waves quite easily. Magic damage from Analog seems pretty good as well. Yeah, 1 minute 30 for Roche. While Apu King of Kings basically just waiting for Kunkka to respawn. We've got buyback on 3 dire cores. Everybody else outside of... Okay, Phoenix just got his back up. Everybody outside of those 4 is on cooldown.
It's time to go. There's nothing to wait. Go down the bottom lane. Mid wave is also connecting. This is why they needed to close out the game. Like, they needed to just end it right there when they had the opportunity.
I love this Phoenix refresher orb rush. Don't care items, only need supernova.
As Phoenix 5, you pretty much care about getting the supernova and that shard sunray. Like, get those multiple in a team fight. Try not to get killed. It's not about the fiery spirits nor Icarus dive. It's all about that sunray.
That's what your life is. Sunray into Mars, Sunray onto your 2 strength cores, 3 strength cores, honestly. That's been super good. And Hokori trying to clear out top wave, create a bit of space on the map for themselves, but they've got to come back and defend tier 4s. Oh, Yuma. Yes, you want to kill mega creeps and clear the waves, but here comes Apu King of Kings. Yuma's BKB Satanic. Not going to work out. And that's got to be game. Your hard carries down. Gardic drops. Analog. Is that self-fuels? It is with an assimilate. But no, it's actually stopped in his tracks. Dunya's back in with the help of the Torrent. And Vitali's Arena will signal the end of the game. Tying things up 1-1. Apu King strike back.
They do. They played well. I think these Roche fights, second Roche especially, is what managed to get them come back into this game. Sanking in the end gets Eel Scepter on Abba. He pops it off with the shield, but it takes a little bit more time. And they do have like good matchup. This AC on Kunkka did a lot of work, more than I expected. Also, like Deso plus AC and Solar Crest, it's a lot of minus armor. And the Luna couldn't sustain. Even with Satanic, the amount of damage that they do is a bit too much.
Yeah, it didn't feel like anything fancy from Apu King of Kings. It felt like their standard old stuff. Wait for Benny to hit, kind of critical mass. He had that Deso BKB blink with the armlet. He was ready to go. Mini was running around with his AC, like you said, just ready with that BKB. And Dunya, even with maybe a little bit of a shaky early part and shaky mid part of the game, that Roshan fight you mentioned absolutely secured momentum for Apu King of Kings. And we can see there, Luna's net worth, it really did just halt once we've got like 25 minutes or so. And the buybacks didn't help out whatsoever. So, 1 apiece currently between Hokori and Apu King of Kings. Time to head back to the panel as we expect Game 3 to come shortly.
Thank you, Gareth, for that throw. We're ready here on the panel. Of course, always ready immediately. Duster, you were on point with your analysis that game. You talked about how they survived the lanes. Their team fight was really impressive, and I think it kind of showed, right? You talked about how chaotic they could make team fights, and your faith was well rewarded, Duster. So, you get to gloat a bit here. Talk about the things that you liked so much about the draft and how those team fights were executed. Give us a bit more of a run of show.
Prediction so far on this panel. Thankfully, that was a right one. Yeah, they survived the laning phase a bit worse than I expected. Honestly, their draft wasn't the best at lanes, but they could do more. I believe they were just getting really old. But yeah, the team fights, their heroes are just so much better to create scales, to get vision. Like the bottom ultimate is such an underrated spell. You have to spend so much detection for it, and sentries now they cost they have limit. So at one point of the game, it's just so annoying to deal with this Mirana. And also they have the Sand King, so they're constantly buying and wasting gold, and eventually run out of attention pretty much if you don't buy a gem. Which I believe they didn't.
I don't recall seeing the gem there, or if they did, they lost it relatively soon. I wanted to ask Lacoste though, what was your expectations here for Hokori that didn't really pan out, or some of the timings that you feel like didn't get hit there?
I feel like it was more Apu just playing well, honestly. I thought they just played really well in this game. It was actually just a different team from the other games I've watched. Like the other games, it just felt like they just weren't playing as well. And this game, they actually were hitting their spells. I thought Dunya was a lot more comfortable. Maybe that's the reason, because he actually played a hero that he's comfortable on, and he was just hitting like 3-man bow strikes. He was owning the team fights. Props to him for actually showing up in this game. I think last game his impact was not even close to this game. So maybe that has a big deal to do with it, but I thought they were just a completely different team. I was pretty impressed.
All right, that's fantastic. Do you think that now, Duster, you suggested strategy in the beginning, but do you think they're going to go back to the let's ban every single Dunya hero and let's not let him play anything he knows? Or do you feel like they need to still, like, because if you ban Dunya, Mini's going to get his Invoker or his Monkey King, right? So what do you think they're going to choose here, Duster? Or what would you choose in that position?
Well, they won against the Monkey King. I don't see any reasons to not play against it again. Like, I think they should keep the strat of banning Mars or either Sand King and stealing the other one, or just banning both. Anyway, yeah, they should target doing a bit better, because you can see like he doesn't exactly has that third hero, you know, that he's fully comfortable and confident, it seems. So I think they should keep pushing him to the wall and seeing what he's gonna come up with.
And Lawless, by the way, because we played Sand King beforehand, did you see an improvement of his Sand King performance this game versus, say, a week ago or so?
Yeah, for sure. I think he was just hitting like almost every spell in this game. He knew like when to go in, when to go out. I thought the team fight was just really impressive. Like he would go in, reset, wait for the BKBs, and come in with Epi, or he would just start the fight with Epi, right? I thought it was really good.
Well, it must be satisfying to see someone like grow into their position like this, right? Especially as an offlane player, you know, a game recognizes a game kind of situation.
For sure. I mean, I can see like some of the things that I went through when I started playing offlane by seeing someone go through the same things. You know, you kind of recognize like he's gaining more confidence. He knows exactly when to go in, when to go out. These small little things, like it's very cool to see him grow as a player.
It's very nice. And last little wholesome note, we have a game 3 for the series, as we all wanted Hokori versus Apple King and Kings. That was another right prediction, by the way, Duster. It's 2 for 2 today, honestly. He did say I was going to go to game 3. So we're going to get a small break now, but then we get to enjoy the final game of today between Apple King and Kings and Hokori. And then I can guarantee you as well, we'll get an interview, because I've already talked to the managers beforehand, just in case. So stay tuned, guys. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Was the last game of today for some DPC SA Dota. See you then.